It's Monday, January 19th, 2026, and we're experiencing significant lake effect snow due to a large low pressure system over the Northeast. Our main concern is what might happen later this week, as a rare snow event could even bring a substantial amount of freezing rain stretching from Texas to northern Georgia. Many people are already out of school today, but it's important to note that there's a high likelihood that many schools in the South could be closed next Monday and Tuesday. This is because the South has fewer snowplows, making it harder to clear the roads. So in today's forecast, I will break down exactly what you need to know about this potentially historic winter weather event that is about to unfold as we move on later into the week. And I want to begin with our precipitation type by the GFS model, as we could see a huge amount of freezing rain and snow all across the southeast and southern parts of the United States. I'm going to apologize today. As most of my videos, I'm not going to edit the center part because I'm on such a time limit with school and everything. So every time I'm talking about the models, I'm not going to edit that part. But during the intro and outro, that's the only thing I'm going to edit. So I do apologize for that. I'm just on a very tight schedule and have been recently. So I haven't posted too much recently. But yeah, here we go. So my GFS model was not working earlier, so I posted saying that I was not going to be able to post a video until probably about 2 to 3. This video should be coming out by about 10 or so. But right now we have this massive low pressure system hovering over parts of the Northeast around like Toronto, Canada, just off of the eastern side of Maine, and northern parts of New York. But this is bringing with it lots of lake effect snow all across areas like the Great Lakes, in the Michigan, the UP of Michigan. Sorry about that. We do have a high pressure system located over Oklahoma, which is bringing nothing too crazy. Just some. It's still cold down in the south, but no precipitation or anything like that. And as we move on into Tuesday, this high pressure system moves into parts of Mississippi, Tennessee, Alabama, Georgia. And then we have a low pressure system start to sort of come back over Texas, which just ends up disappearing as we move on into Wednesday and Thursday. Friday into Saturday is our main concern. As if you look over here at Oklahoma, we have this amount of sort of like rain and snow start to form, like about right here. And so Oklahoma, areas like Norman, Oklahoma, Wichita, Texas, even parts of Dallas and Fort Worth, could be receiving some freezing rain. And this is not too strong on the GFS model. But if we look at it, we've got all this massive amount of freezing rain and a potentially historic snowfall event on our hands for the South. This is 2 to 3 days out. My fault. It is. See, that's the bad part about not editing. This is about. Let's see. Today's Monday, Friday. Mm. Now, this is still about 5 to 6 days out, so it is pretty uncertain as it is in the South too, though. So the South is more of an area of unlikelihood, where we cannot really tell, and it's just like uncertain what is actually going to happen. But we see some storms start to fire up and rain and stuff, and even some more freezing rain in parts of northern and eastern sides of Tennessee, as well as parts of northern Georgia as we move on into Saturday, January 31st. Okay, now I want to go ahead and take a look at the exact same thing, just on a different model, which this is the European model. And it is showing a very strong sign of snow, and stuff, like I was talking about as we move on into Friday. Like, if we look at Oklahoma later on Friday, some snow starts to pop up. Same thing as the GFS model. But as we move on into sort of later on Friday, around 6 p.m. Into 12 a.m., we have some snow, like freezing rain and snow, start to form up in Arkansas. And then as we move on into 12 a.m. on Saturday, January 24th, this is what we could be seeing. Now, this will leave a bunch of ice on roads as we move on into Sunday around 12 a.m. Especially parts of like Pine Bluff, Arkansas, northern Mississippi, especially northwestern Alabama, in which we could be receiving some significant freezing rain and snowstorms in the south. And this is what we were talking about that could be potentially historic. And this very same system could bring a ton of snowfall. So this is our total snowfall rates in inches over the next sort of 7 to 10 days as this system starts to move through. But just keep in mind that this is total snowfall. So this is the total amount of snowfall we could see in this area for however many days this goes on to. So this is not all going to be falling at one consistent time. Just wanted to go ahead and tell y'all that. But I want to go ahead and just move on into Friday, where as we move on into Friday, we could be seeing a significant amount of snow up in the Northeast. But here's where that snow starts to sort of develop in Oklahoma, Texas, which Oklahoma could definitely be seeing an amount of snow. I will say that. But as we move on into pretty much Monday, this is the amount of snow that we could be seeing over the South, which is what I was talking about in the latest GFS and European model that I looked at. We could be seeing a significant amount of snow in Oklahoma, which this is uncertain, so things definitely will change over the next few days, but that's what I'm here for. And if this continues to change like this, we could be posting up to 2 videos a day. Um, so make sure to subscribe and turn on the post notifications bell to stay updated on that. And whenever I post, that way you are updated. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the European model. So starting off right now on the European model, this is what our total snowfalls are looking like as we move on to Friday. Obviously, snow starts to accumulate in Oklahoma, but then they're showing that areas of northern Alabama and northern Georgia, parts of South Carolina are not going to be seeing snow. I personally am rooting for the European or the GFS model, as it will be bringing snow to my area, so I could get out of school Monday and Tuesday. But it is still uncertain what will happen. We will really get a grasp as we move on into Wednesday and Thursday as what will happen on Friday and Saturday, because that is only 2 days out instead of about 5 to 6. So make sure to go ahead and stay tuned to the channel and make sure to subscribe so that we are updated whenever I go post. In fact, you can click right here to subscribe to the channel that I go live on. You can click right here to subscribe to the channel that I just post videos on. You can click right here to watch my latest video. I do go live during these severe weather events, and there's a high likelihood that I could go live during this winter weather event if there is the need to. Like I said, huge shout out to Dylan Motley, otherwise known as Moderate Motley on YouTube, for letting me use his feed. Anyway, I'll see y'all the next time. Thanks for tuning in. Happy MLK Day. See ya.